My name is Charlie Sale. I'm a master officer with the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission. We're wildlife officers. A lot of people know us as game wardens. I'm stationed here in Wilkes. I work Wilkes, Watauga, and Alexander counties. I've moved around the state a little bit, but I made my way back home. I graduated from East Wilkes in 2008 and then went to Appalachian. Then I worked a little job to get me by during the application process, and then started with this in March of 2013. All right, so when I was in high school, I had no clue what I wanted to do. I'd had no career path lined up. I really did not know what I was gonna do. I grew up hunting and fishing, playing sports, but I never really thought about being a game warden for sure, but I never had any idea what I was gonna do. I ended up going to college. Everybody said you have to go to college, so that's what I did, and I really didn't figure out what I wanted to do until I think it was junior year at Appalachian. I had a roommate whose dad was a game warden, and we were moving in furniture one day to our apartment, and his dad, I remember him saying that he had so much fun being a game warden that he would do it for free if he had to. So I thought, well, that's probably what I want to do. So I got my degree in criminal justice, and I started with wildlife in March 2013. So we enforce hunting, boating, fishing, and trapping law. So that's what makes this job fun, is that we don't do the same thing every day. We're always doing something different. You know, you're not sitting in a car all day. You don't even have an office. Your office is pretty much in your patrol vehicle. So, you know, in the spring, you know, you're checking fishing license, or you might be getting up at 2 or 3 a.m. and laying on a turkey bait site waiting on a hunter to come in. And about the time you get tired of that, then it's going to be boating season. And we all have boats. You know, you're going to be assigned to a lake or 2 lakes. And our main thing is to keep everybody safe on the lake. And with that, your main job is to get boaters that are operating while impaired off the water. So you're going to be arresting people off the water. You'll be writing other tickets as well, but that's our main objective in the summertime. And about the time you get tired of being on the boat, it's going to be hunting season again. And that, for me, is my favorite time to work, because, you know, it is busy, but it's a lot of fun. You're going to be out in the field trying to catch people shooting deer at night. You might be laying in the bushes trying to catch somebody shooting from the road. You might be on a bear bait site. There's a lot of different stuff you're going to get into. Now, you're going to be working all hours of the night, and that's a negative to a lot of people. We're not just day shift or night shift. You're going to be working early mornings, middle of the day, late at night. You're going to be working all different hours. We make our own schedule to an extent, but you only get 1 weekend off a month. And the reason for that is when people are out hunting, boating, and fishing, it's going to be on the weekend, so that's when you need to be working. So that's definitely a negative. Another negative that really turns a lot of people off of the career choice is you have to move with this job. We're a state agency, so when you get hired, you go to the recruit school for 30 weeks, which in itself is not any fun. When you get out of that, you got to go to a training assignment for 6 months with an FTO, and that could be anywhere in the state. So you're going to go with your FTO for 6 months, and the FTO is a field training officer, and you'll be with that officer every day for 6 months. That's your training program, and once you get through that, then you can apply for a permanent duty assignment. That could be anywhere in the state, just whatever county is open. And then from there, you can transfer if a county comes open that you like. So I got lucky and got to come back home pretty quick, but sometimes it doesn't work out like that. Most of the time you start out on the coast. So another good part about the job is you do get a lot of equipment. We all get boats. You all get a boat, you get a 4-wheeler, you get a take-home patrol truck. You get to fly in an airplane. Everybody's required to fly in the airplane at least one time. I never thought I would get to fly over Fontana Dam in a single-engine airplane, but I got to do that within my first couple months of working. So that's a lot of fun. When you go to our recruit school, it includes basic law enforcement training like you would take to be a deputy or a police officer. Our academy includes that along with the wildlife stuff, so that's why it's 30 weeks. And while you're there, you're going to get certified to be a state law enforcement officer. When you graduate, you're going to have opportunities to do all types of training. I've been to all kinds of training that wildlife has sent me to, everything from man tracking training to bear attack response training. You get to do all sorts of training, you get a lot of certifications, you get the opportunity to be an instructor. There's a lot of different things that you get to do with this. So while you're in the recruit school, they're going to teach you everything you need to know to be a police officer and be a game warden, because being a game warden or a wildlife officer, you have to deal with other things besides just wildlife. When you're out doing these things, when you're out on the boat or checking fishing license, you're going to run across a lot of drug activity. They're going to teach you how to handle that. You're going to run across DWIs on the highway that you have to deal with, and they're going to teach you how to handle that as well. So of course, in law enforcement, there is always danger that you're going to be faced with. I do feel like it's worth it with our job. I honestly can say I look forward to going to work most days, but it is dangerous. And something to keep in mind is when you're in this job, most of the people you deal with are going to be armed, and you know they're going to be armed. So if you just watch somebody shoot a deer at night from their vehicle, and you have to run down that vehicle and stop it, you know that there's a firearm in the vehicle. So there is an inherent danger with the career, but it's going to be like that in any law enforcement job. So the laws that we enforce are in place for a reason. We're here to conserve the resource. We promote hunting, but we're here to conserve the resource. If we weren't around, then we wouldn't have a wildlife to protect, because we set limits on the deer, big game, any animal, fish, and they're all there for a reason, to maintain healthy populations. And that's what we're here for. Is we're here to make sure that everybody follows the rules and make sure that deer, bear, whatever animal it may be, are taken legally. So law enforcement in itself is not going to go anywhere. And as a wildlife officer, the job market's very secure. If we weren't here, we wouldn't have any wildlife. So I don't think our job's going to go anywhere. However, this career is hard to get into. There's only 200 of us in the whole state, including supervision. So typically 1 or 2 officers per county across the state. Just an example would be in 2013, when I started, we had 2,200 people apply for 20 spots across the state. So you need something to set you apart to be noticed and get hired. So some of the things we offer are an internship when you're in college. Some of those are paid. You can find that on our website. We also offer ride-alongs. When you turn 18, you can contact us and do a ride-along with us for a day and see if it's the career you like. We also encourage anybody who wants to volunteer to help us teach hunter education classes, boater education classes. Somebody can come and help us volunteer. All that stuff will set you apart when it comes to application process. If anybody's interested in this career, we do require a bachelor's degree. It doesn't have to be in criminal justice. It doesn't have to be in environmental science. It can be whatever you're interested in. You just have to have a bachelor's degree, and that's a requirement. So if you have that, you still need more than just the bachelor's if you're going to get hired. You need to volunteer, maybe do the internship, ride along, anything you can do to set you apart from everybody else. If you decide to do a ride along, or if you decide to volunteer to help me teach a class or something, keep up with that and keep up the days, and that way you can put it all on your resume when it comes time to apply, and all that stuff will make you look a whole lot better.